Indiana. New era, new energy. Already making plans for next season. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
The Indiana Fever were immediately in a frenzy. Since they leaked their list of protected players for the upcoming season, they truly deserved every second of it. Additionally, they mistakenly uploaded it to the internet, which is clearly a signature. Move for this crew. First, you mistreat Caitlin Clark, allowing your ineptitude to eclipse her genius. And because you overlooked genuine talent, you're now creating the conditions for suffering.
Even one scenario ever out there in all the multiverses where Caitlin Clark wouldn't be on the...
It's clear that listening for skill is not your strong suit. Your choices are blatantly biased, or worse, they highlight players who perhaps provided you with some financial advantages. On a good day, the players you've chosen might have potential, but it would be flagrant neglect to overlook budding stars and reliable assets. And it will be a long season of regret if this is your strategy. Indiana, the Fever in Indiana. Why on earth did you think that November 24, 2024 need to be declared a national holiday in order to instruct people on how not to run a franchise? When your social media team is indiscriminately posting your protected player list for the WNBA. Expansion draft. Who needs it? Is that a leak or espionage?
Expansion draft is happening on December the 6th. It's going to be live on ESPN. But before that happens, here's what you need to know.
The Fever uploaded a graphic displaying their protected player roster, basically a cheat sheet for each league competitor just one day prior to the protection deadline. Before they had to hastily hit delete. Was it really so hard to maintain composure for an additional 24 hours? Fans had previously taken screenshots, and you know what? They'll stay there forever. Indiana, you've just turned a pivotal moment in the history of your franchise into an unforgettable disaster.
The Golden State Valkyries that's going to begin and play in 2025, but before that happens, we need to have an expansion draft because they need some players on their roster.
Let's put this in perspective. Unless you're the Indiana Fever, in which case you simply turn the board and let everyone else see your hand. It's a delicate chess game. The WNBA's newest team, the Golden State Valkyries, is getting ready for its expansion draft. Since each franchise must keep 6 players from being abducted while the others are left susceptible, the stakes are exceedingly high for each club.
So bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 20.
The fun doesn't stop there, though. This draft isn't your typical one. It's affecting the league's future, and the team that just qualified for the playoffs for the first time in years ought to be feeling very good right now. Rather, they are in shock after a devastating public disgrace. This is not an inexperienced mistake. It's the kind of error that people talk about for years, like when you make a mistake in a work email reply, but with a million times the shame.
Sports, it's a big opportunity to be a part of this rising tide that we're all experiencing. Everybody in this company is all in. Everybody in this city.
Since the list itself is evidently as chaotic as the event that gave rise to it, let's now roast it. Caitlin Clark, a rookie sensation who loves packing arenas and making highlight reels, is the face of the franchise. Aaliyah Boston is undoubtedly the team's pillar and a walking double-double. Additionally, Kelsey Mitchell's scoring stats make her all but invincible. It's going well for Lexi Hall. She's becoming better at adding depth and being resourceful.
Even one scenario ever out there in all the multiverses where Caitlin Clark wouldn't be on the list. Aaliyah Boston, same thing goes for her. Kelsey Mitchell's going to be a free agent, but we know the Fever really want to bring her back. They've been celebrating her accomplishments in China. They just posted an hour of her highlights online. They can core her if they have her right and keep her under contract. So it makes sense that they keep that big three.
But then come the brain teasers. Despite her brilliance, Nelissa Smith may be known by her inconsistency. This player spent half the season trending for her TikTok controversy instead of her own. Court dominance, poor dependability, and serious risk when you are standing up for her. It's like tossing a coin and hoping for heads.
stuff. She's not the best decision maker with the basketball. Motor comes into question at times, not really a shooter. However, there was also the other stuff. You know, she would seem to have an issue with Christy's sides. Doesn't seem to stay away from social media at times. And then the thing with Dejanay Carrington and the son.
Let's talk about who was excluded last. Dairis Dantes had no defense. Although she is a dynamic forward who can stretch the floor and give depth, it appears that Indiana feels they are so stacked that they can ignore her. In relation to Grace Berger, how is it possible for someone with her potential to be overlooked? The fan outcry has been as inevitable, it is warranted, and this decision is obviously short-sighted. She is the perfect backup because she is young and undervalued. Since the front desk employees never contact with you, Caitlin Clark's decision to put her in the expansion draft meet grinder begs the question of whether they genuinely like their work.
Benley is a winning attitude kind of player, plays hard on defense, really ran the floor well on the season, did a nice job converting Caitlin Clark's passes early in the year. Didn't do as well later in the year with that. Blew a lot of layups and bunnies, but I think part of that was because she had a hand in.
Even worse, the entire situation precisely aligns with ESPN's predictions, raising doubts about whether this was a leak or an indication of their lack of creativity. If your key movements in Indiana are so obvious that a sports network might predict them, it might be time to switch things up. Rather, you have placed yourself in an untrustworthy situation. We don't know what we're doing is made clear by a decision like protecting Smith and Benley from Berger and Dantes. The once vibrant Fallout franchise has now devolved into a farce. Your competitors are probably mocking your self-defeating behavior. Experts are examining your priorities, while fans are questioning your skills. The expansion draft is scheduled for December 6th, and regardless of what happens, the Fever has already lost a large chunk of the battle and their credibility.
You just never, ever know when it comes to the WNBA. Like, nothing will surprise me. But this is a competent franchise. They're going to keep the players that have the most value, whether it be on the court or in.
Now let's discuss the theory that has been going around regarding this circus. Some fans are speculating that this alleged disclosure was a planned ruse to gauge popular reaction. If so, it's both incredibly reckless and, in a way, brilliant. Enough to make you want to set everything on fire. Indiana is using your fan base as a focus group to support your bold and stupid decision. In addition to being embarrassing, leaks like this are catastrophic when you're trying to rebuild trust. But if this was a real accident, which seems more likely considering the history, it's just another evidence of everyone's incompetence.
Stephanie White sees the talent that Melissa has, and she clearly has talent, and thinks, I can get the most out of Melissa. Or maybe the Fever think, hey, we're not going to lose her for nothing. Let's protect her because she does have traits.
This is the most important issue. It only makes sense to pick Tammy Benley and Nelissa Smith above Grace Berger and Dairis. It will result in significant financial gain. If not, you're left with a roster that resembles a patchwork quilt rather than a team that could win a championship. Additionally, this squad will have what could have been written all over it if Smith falters or Benley's ailments persist. These decisions can alienate the fan base, which is already brittle. Let's dissect this. If they pick up Berger and DTI, the Golden State Vokkies might win in the interim and make Indiana seem even worse. The Vokkies seem to be sitting there, playing chess with half the pieces missing, laughing with every move.
The reason this has become a thing is because the players in front of her, well, there were 6 of them. And the WNBA draft, the expansion draft coming up, you can protect 6 players from the Golden State Valkyries. Each team, each franchise can. So fans try to put 2 and 2 together, seeing the 6 players that Stephanie White was talking to and thinking those must be the 6 players.
Speaking of the Valkyries, they are free to obstruct the intentions of the Fever whenever they see fit because they have a firm grasp of Indiana's priorities thanks to this leaked list. Players who are not protected should be captured, check. For proactive trade offers, check once more. Infrequent as they are, WNBA expansion drafts have a significant impact on the league. Every choice matters, and errors rip through rankings and rosters. However, in a league that is getting more competitive by the day, the Indiana Fever are stumbling over their own feet. Indiana simply gave them a bow-wrapped cheat sheet for their strategy. They deserve a thank you note from the Valkyries for greatly simplifying their work.
WNBA now getting some of the vibes that the NBA has gotten in free agency and off seasons in the past, where fans can't stop speculating about every little.
Then there is Caitlin Clark, who plays for both the Fever and the WNBA. Her first season with you was a spectacular, record-breaking show that helped Indiana standing. The rest of the roster is a precarious combination of missed opportunities and unknown injury risks, but at least you didn't mess up the obvious. Boston ought to have served as the foundation of a growing superpower. However, the Fever are making choices that could bring their stars down rather than wisely constructing around them.
Little Fever fun, right? I mean, it's an off-season topic. It's perfect for that. A little bit of Fever fun. We can have that. And shout out to the social team if they're getting in trouble today. No big deal.
The Fever from Indiana. You were expected to show the league that you are a serious club and to keep your plans under wraps. Rather, you've let the Golden State Valkyries cart to examine your strategy and make the opposing teams chuckle. Fans are going to struggle if new energy appears like this. This wasn't only an error, it was a complete collapse.